There was this one question that Jesus asked that cut me down to the core, and it wasn't deep, it wasn't theological. It was a simple question. He just asked, "Do you want to be made well?" So that's the same question I ask myself and my clients when it comes to fitness. So I'm reading the Bible here, and we're in John chapter 5, and there's this man who's been lying beside a pool. It's a healing pool for 38 years. So he's sick, he's kind of stuck in his situation, he's suffering. And Jesus shows up and asks him, "Do you want to be made well?" So before kind of like diving into the story, I want to make sure you guys have like the right context. So this guy has been beside a pool for 38 years, and there's a belief which is if you go into the pool at the right time, you will be made well. But this guy, he's like chilling by the pool and he's unwell. So he's sick. So like I have my Bible here open for John chapter 5, and it says that there were crowds of sick people who were blind, who were lame or paralyzed, and they lay down on the porches. And one of the men lying there had been sick for 38 years. And when Jesus saw him and knew he had been ill for a long time, he asked him, "Would you like to get well?" So Jesus already knew this guy's been ill for like multiple years, but he still asked him, "Do you want, or would you like to get well?" And instead of answering, "Oh yeah, of course I'd want to be made well," the man, instead of doing that, he starts explaining why he's sick. He starts saying, he literally replies with, so when Jesus asks him like, "Oh, do you want to be made well?" He's like, "Oh, I can't, sir, for I have no one to put me into the pool when the water bubbles up. Someone else always gets there ahead of me." And so instead of him saying, "Oh yeah, Jesus, like you're finally here, like please help me get well," this guy's literally like, "Oh yeah, here are my excuses." And he starts explaining to Jesus, "Oh yeah, this is actually why I'm stuck. No one's gonna help me. Everyone else always beats me to it." And now, like after hearing that, does that kind of like sound familiar when it comes to you and your fitness goals? I think I think that's very similar to how a lot of people treat their fitness. You ask them, "Hey, do you actually want to lose weight, feel better, and show up for yourself?" And they say, "Oh, I just don't have the time," or "I'm just too tired after work," or "Oh, my metabolism is slow." And we don't give answers, we just give excuses. And so there's a few parallels when it comes to like this guy's story and I guess fitness in general. So this guy has spent 38 years being stuck in where he was, and that the parallel of that in fitness is just spending years and years of trying and failing to get in shape. So trying to lose weight, trying to build muscle, but just failing over and over and over and over and over. And in the Bible and in the story, this guy was waiting on someone else to help move him physically. And he'd been waiting for 38 years. So obviously at this point, ain't no one coming to save him. And in fitness, that's kind of like you waiting on the motivation or the perfect plan to get started when it comes to your fitness journey. And Jesus, how he healed this guy was he literally told the guy, "Just pick up your mat and walk." That was it. And the guy picked up his mat and walked, and he said instantly he was healed. And that's like and so the fitness parallel to that is literally just taking action today, no matter how small the action is. I think when a lot of people talk about their problems when it comes to fitness, about, "Oh, I don't have time," or, "Oh, I'm too busy with work," they kind of want people to feel pity for them. And in the Bible and in the story, Jesus, he doesn't respond with pity. He just gives a command. He's just like, "Move." And one of the things that I've taken away from that is that when you actually are healed, like the healing, it doesn't happen by you sitting down and you just kind of waiting for someone to save you. The healing, or in this case, maybe getting your fitness in order, it only happens through action, not before action. It happens through action. So you actually have to do something to deserve it. And so there were times where I was that guy on the mat. I knew what to do, but I kept waiting for motivation. I kept waiting to have like a perfect routine. I kept waiting to maybe be back at my apartment where everything was like nice and the way I wanted it to, and for someone to really just motivate me to get me to the gym, or motivate me to get me to doing what needed to be done. And then one day, I had to answer the same question, where it's like, do I really want to be made well? And so I had to pick up my mat, which was my program, my shoes, picking up my protein powder, and just start putting it to work. I think that's kind of like one of the biggest things that I take away from kind of like this story, because obviously we all say that we all believe that we want to be made well, but we don't take the actions that require us to be made well. And from the story, I've learned that if you're just sitting at the pool waiting for someone to make those first steps for you, you will still stay at the pool for as long as it possibly takes, because the only person that can take action is yourself. And if you don't take action, no one else can take action for you. And just like this man who'd been at the pool for 38 years, just like waiting and praying for someone to take action for him, it's never going to happen. And he's there 38 years. If Jesus didn't come and heal him, he would probably be there for another 38 years, still waiting, still complaining, and still giving excuses as to why he can't be made well. So if you've been like feeling stuck lately when it comes to like your fitness, like just honestly ask yourself the question, like, am I actually choosing to lose weight? Am I actually choosing to build muscle? Am I actually choosing to be healed? Or am I just rehearsing my excuses whenever anyone asks me if I've gotten started or not? Because at the end of the day, you have to really understand that no one is coming to save you, and that your health is your responsibility. And the moment that you take it seriously, that's the moment where everything starts to change. And so, yeah, I thought that was just like a cool video. It was one of the things I was reading about today and kind of just wanted to share. This is the second video I'm making when it comes to like this whole series of where I'm taking like different Bible stories and kind of like applying it to fitness. So if there is any story or whatever that you do want me to kind of like look at and see if I can like relate it to fitness, definitely just let me know in the comments or whatnot. If you're new here, if this is the first video you're watching from me, I appreciate you watching the video. Lots of love. If you're new here, like, comment, sub, all that good stuff. And then another thing too, if you feel like you are the man on the mat who is just chilling at the pool and he sees everyone else being healed and he starts asking himself like, damn, like, why can't I be healed? When is it going to be my turn? And like you need help kind of like applying it to your life in terms of like whether you need help, or even if you just want to have a conversation about this story, like do hit me up in the DMs on Instagram. Obviously we can't really converse much here on YouTube. There's no messaging on YouTube, but on Instagram we can obviously talk. So hit me up on Instagram. Would love to kind of like hear how you kind of interpreted the same story and applied it to your fitness. So that's all I have for this video. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Sending lots of love, and talk soon. Peace.